Your mindset as a writer, as an artist, has been deeply, deeply influenced. I've spoken in the past about the structuralist narrative theory. What exactly is the structuralist narrative theory? The theory that we all study. The theory that everyone on YouTube talks about in all of the masterclasses. The idea that if we analyse a bunch of stories, we'll find structures and rules and templates to sort of follow. And you should know that the structuralist narrative theory is very, very influential. All of the theories, all of the writing techniques that we use are very, very deeply rooted in the structuralist work. The reason I'm talking about this is because the ideas that if we just analyse a bunch of stories, we'll find rules about what stories are and how they're made. We'll find structures, like the hero's journey, for example. And we'll find sort of like templates that we can follow. Does it just stop at that? Like, we just analyse stories, we find some structures that we can sort of copy. No. Doesn't just stop there. Your mindset as a writer, as an artist, has been deeply, deeply influenced and, in my opinion, changed and twisted, not in a good way. So what's happened over the years? The people who make stories primarily are artists, primarily have this creative spark. But what's happened over the years is from the works of analysing stories and finding these patterns, these structures, the proposed perfect stories, all of that work has been presented to people who are first and foremost artists. They're driven by a creative spark, and they're presented with this work. This is the perfect story structure. This is how you should structure your story. This is what should happen at the start of your story. This is the climax. At this point in the story, this is when all of the conflict should sort of take place. And this is what happens at the end of stories. Hey, this is, if you really want to hook people, these types of elements and this type of content at the start of stories, if you have that, then that's the sort of stuff that really hooks people. When you, an artist, are presented with these ideas, it shifts your mindset about the story that you're creating and why you're creating it. It shifts it from this initial spark within you, and all of these imaginative ideas that you have, into the mindset of, I need to engage audience. I need to structure my story in the perfect way, and therefore I need to think of ideas that fit that structure. Okay, well, I need to shift the conflict and the big events towards the sort of like almost towards the end, but not quite, which is where the climax happens. Okay, I'm gonna have to change up a few things around. Okay, so characters have to, at the start, demonstrate that they're nice and lovable. Okay, how do I do that? And then you start to think of ideas in accordance to what these structures and what these sort of like perfect stories are sort of telling you, that you're being presented with these perfect stories. And so it's a very, very subtle shift in mindset, so that you're no longer creating ideas from this sort of like pure artistic spark within you, and all these ideas, they're not coming from within you. Instead, the ideas are sort of almost told to you about what they should be or where they should be in the story. And then you're being influenced to think of particular ideas, it's just like putting those ideas in a box and saying, that idea belongs there. Okay, I need this particular idea here, so I need to think of something for that. Okay. And so it shifts the reason for why you start to even write and tell the story. Rather than having something within you that you want to tell, the mindset has become, amongst many writers and storytellers, I need to create ideas for this structure. I need to sort my ideas in this way. And it becomes something outside of you that appeals to other people. So you're creating ideas for how the story will be perceived for the audience. And that is a very, very not good mindset to have if you're an artist and a creative person who has ideas inside of you that you just need to tell. Like like as a creative person, as an artist, as someone who wants to tell a story, you're probably telling a story because you have something to say. The thing that you have to say is, hey, you got to know about this person. You got to know what they've been through. Hey, you got to know what they've overcome. It's quite remarkable. Hey, you got to know about this person, like how fucking vile they are. Hey, look at how dark and low a person can be, but look at how they can actually overcome that and become better. Isn't that remarkable? Yeah, you got to know about this. Look at what this person did. He was a fucking scumbag at the start. You have something to say. It's personal to you, so you feel the need to tell these stories because it's related to you and your life in some way, or to someone that like they share the same story. I know that a lot of the characters that I like to create and write about, they're very meaningful to me because they share my story in some way. The sort of traits that they have, the reasons that they have those traits, the background, the backstories, the sort of events that they've gone through is somewhat similar to what I've gone through in some way. The sort of tasks that they've had to face and the difficult truths that they've had to face, and it's very similar to sort of what I feel like I've had to face. And and some people will tell stories about other people, even real life people. I think about Hamilton, the theatre plus a musical about one of the founding fathers who gets no recognition, things that he overcame and the incredible achievements that he achieved. People don't really know about him, and it's quite remarkable. And so obviously the person felt that he deserves recognition and that he'll get that recognition by telling his story. That's exactly what he did. I think that's what we do. We tell the stories of people who we feel deserve recognition, we feel deserve their story to be told and known by people. You get to say, hey, you've got to know about this person. You don't know about what they overcame. You don't know what they've achieved. You need to know. They deserve it. A shift in mindset where you're creating ideas for the sole engagement of an audience rather than because it's something you need to say. I think that creating these ideas just to fit this story structure or to engage an audience or to hook an audience and all that stuff, it really defeats the whole purpose of being an artist and being a creative person. This is why I wanted to share this with you, is because it's very, very important to get your mindset correct about why you're telling a story, why you're sharing a story. Is it like, are you just creating a product like Hollywood does? Hollywood needs these recipes. And Netflix, they need these structures because their product is a story. And they need these recipes to follow. And it's really great if the professional industry finds someone who has a story to tell, and you can see it because the story that they tell is pretty damn good. But they need these recipes to follow because they need content, right? But I think you're not creating a product. I don't think it's true to the artists to have the mindset of creating ideas in accordance with a sort of structure or recipe to fit audience appeal. And it's very, 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 very easy to shift into that mindset. There you go. I'm Joe Webb, a storyteller, the storyteller, and I'll see you around.